Welcome on into the news at noon on this Friday. We begin with a major decision by the U.S. Supreme Court ruling against President Trump and his tariff battle.
The justices ruling 6-3 against Trump's expanded use of the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. And now the president, in response, is saying he will impose a 10% global tariff under a different statute. We'll get to that in just a moment. But first, let me talk about the law that allows the president to regulate imports when necessary to respond to national emergencies. And the president claimed emergencies on the U.S. trade deficit and the flow of fentanyl into the country. Trump administration said last week it would find new ways to retain as many of Trump's tariffs as possible. Well, the court ruled the president went too far and would need congressional approval to improve sweeping tariffs under the law. President Donald Trump holding a press conference moments ago, calling the ruling deeply disappointing. Take a listen.
This was an important case to me, more as a symbol of economic national security, and also, I would say, just for our country itself, so important. Today, I will sign an order to impose a 10% global tariff under Section 122, over and above our normal tariffs already being charged. And we're also initiating several Section 301 and other investigations to protect our country from unfair trading practices of other countries and companies.
Okay, so let's talk more about that global tariff. You just heard President Trump say that he is moving to bring back tariffs using that different trade powers to do so. So he's going to use what's known as Section 122 to put a 10% tariff on imports across the board, and then Section 301 to investigate unfair trade practices, which could potentially lead to even more tariffs.
So here's a part of the court's majority opinion with Chief Justice John Roberts writing, quote, "It is also telling that the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, half century of existence, no president has invoked the statute to impose any tariffs, let alone tariffs of this magnitude and scope. That lack of historical precedent, coupled with the breadth of authority that the president now claims, suggests that the tariff extends beyond the president's legitimate reach." End quote.
And later this afternoon, Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays will speak out on today's Supreme Court ruling striking down President Trump's emergency tariffs. She is expected to give insight into the case that she helped lead alongside other attorneys general. And we will have more on what this decision means for Arizona as well as the rest of the country on the news at 4, 5, and 6 o'clock.
Let's take a look at how the stock market is reacting. We started with the down day, but soon as that news came out from SCOTUS earlier this morning, you can see when we jumped high into the green. In fact, we're starting to see those numbers pick back up at this hour. The Dow currently up about 209 points, currently sitting at 49,605.